Scharnhorst sighted on the starboard bow. Welcome to HMS Belfast. Welcome to World War II headquarters with me, Al Murray. I'm here aboard this mighty, mighty cruiser to look at the kill chain on HMS Belfast. World War II headquarters have teamed up with the IWM, and I've come down to their amazing floating museum, HMS Belfast, to chat with their curator Rob about how the ship's gunnery system worked, the kill chain. Right, so Rob, here we are on what would have been the bridge.
Yep.
The open bridge, because after all, you come around the corner here, you see the guns on Belfast. It tells you very explicitly what she's for. She's a cruiser with 6-inch guns that are for knocking out enemy shipping or enemy merchant shipping.
Yeah.
But the business of firing them, acquiring a target, how does that work?
Basically, Belfast is a giant floating gun platform. She's armed with 12 6-inch guns,
Yep.
6 inches being the diameter of the shell that is fired. These guns were split into 4 triple turrets,
Right.
Offering a great amount of flexibility of targeting.
Yeah, so they can operate individually or fire together as what they would call a broadside.
Exactly that. They can fire one gun within the turret, all 3 guns within a turret at a different target,
Yeah.
or all of them in a broadside.
Oh right, so it's completely configurable any way you want.
Yeah, one of the strengths of a ship like Belfast is how flexible
Right.
the firepower was.
And I imagine when she does fire a broadside, the noise and the impact on the frame of the ship is something else, right?
Yeah, the recoil was quite something, and you'd have felt the force throughout the steel of the ship.
Now, of course, they're 6-inch diameter,
Yeah,
but how big are these? Are like 3-4 feet long. How big are the shells?
about 3-4 feet long. They would have weighed 75 kilos.
Right,
They're
okay.
incredibly heavy. Belfast is interesting that she has all of these mechanical systems, but they're essentially still run by hand.
Yeah, right.
So,
and the first part of the run by hand thing is someone eyes on
that's
with
it.
a pair of binoculars, Mark 1 eyeball, as they like to say, sees, I don't know, the Scharnhorst cresting the horizon. And that's the first part of this whole system, isn't it? It's that someone has to see it, they get a bearing on the target, they find a range. And what's the range of these guns?
So the 6-inch guns could fire up to 14 miles.
Right.
So where we're floating here in the Thames, the guns, if you fired them today, could reach beyond the M25 motorway that surrounds London.
Goodness me! But that's over the horizon, isn't it? Because the horizon's what, 6-7 miles away?
At sea, you can see a long way, and and Belfast had multiple systems as well as visual lookout and targeting. By the Second World War, she was equipped with revolutionary technology of radar.
Yeah, and so they'd pick out a target on the radar, and then I suppose what the captain does is decides at what point he wants to engage, because her advantage is speed. So if she's fired back at, she can zigzag.
That's
and
it, yeah.
Dodge whatever's being chucked in her direction.
Outrun a larger ship. So
Right.
yeah, so the captain would make those key decisions. The radar and the visual information all coming to him.
I imagine they choose the ammunition they're going to use according to the target.
Depending on the target, you would have had a choice between armour piercing and high explosive
Right.
ammunition. You mentioned Scharnhorst,
Yeah.
a larger
For
target,
instance.
for
Yeah.
instance. You'd want to engage first with armour piercing
Yeah.
to pierce the enemy's armour,
Yeah.
creating those holes in the hull, in which you then might want to hit with high explosives.
Right.
Belfast, she was also equipped with star shells, which
Would illuminate, so you could
at night,
pick a target out at night. Because after all, what if you run into the Scharnhorst at 2 o'clock in the morning, for instance?
Exactly.
So that's the sort of decision-making end that happens up here on the bridge.
Yeah.
What's next in the process with the guns? What comes next?
the Gunnery control table. That's like a mechanical computer.
Wow.
And then that provides the data to the gun turrets. Because remember, when you say firing at up to 14 miles, you're not firing directly at the target.
No, yeah.
You're firing at where you want it to be.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to go and look at that next then.
That's what we need to see.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Lead on. I don't know my way around this ship. Rob, here we are in the, I don't know, is it the brain of the gunnery function of the ship?
Yeah, we're right down in the bows of the ship, deep in the armoured box. So we're at the waterline, 4-inch armour on the hull around us, where the critical systems were kept safe, including this critical system, which is the Admiralty Fire Control Table.
Now, I mean, to the uninitiated, this looks like a sort of a mixing desk from the 60s. You'd expect the Beatles to be in here.
It's awesome, isn't it?
It's that steel and it's grey and there's knobs. But basically, what we have here is the information's coming in from eyeballs, spotter plane, wind direction, all that sort of stuff. And it's stuck into the computer.
That's it.
And who's staffing this?
So the control table would have been staffed by Royal Marines,
Right.
and it would have been their job to take all of that data that was coming in, as you said, from spotters, from radar,
Yeah.
the course and speed of the enemy,
Yeah.
and to input that data into this enormous mechanical computer, basically.
So this is not a computer in the way we think of it, with a CPU in it, with a processor. It's like a sort of giant clockwork machine that when you put one wind speed in it, the cogs turn that way. You
That's
put the
it.
direction in, and out of it you get how you should fire the guns.
It calculates exactly where the shells need to land, at the range, at the speed of the enemy, and then sends the information to the turrets of how to lay the guns and to aim the guns.
So this is so that someone doesn't have to get a slide rule out, basically.
Because you don't have time to do that.
You don't
in
have
battle.
time to
No.
do that in battle, no. So an automated process. See, that's really fascinating because, of course, I think we think of computers as digital and Bletchley Park, but mechanical computers are a big part of how people are doing this sort of thing during the war, aren't they?
Exactly, and Belfast is a really interesting sort of crossroads of technological development.
Yeah.
So she's a sort of a giant interconnected machine, but the systems are still manned by people.
Yeah.
So it's that halfway point before everything was eventually linked electronically. Later on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fascinating. So we've target height correction drum, full charge. So that's when you're firing a heavier charge from the gun to make it go further, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then there's a reduced charge. So that's for something that's closer, perhaps, or a softer target where you've not got to absolutely smash it to pieces.
Yes, and over here you can see the information on the
That's
direction of
own
your
ship.
own ship compared to the enemy ship.
So there's a compass with each of those. There's the wind direction,
You turn the cogs to put the information into the machine. onto
and
the
then
turret.
that's sent onto the turrets. And of course, I mean, the turrets are far apart. So if they're going to converge their fire, the turrets have to do their own alteration.
It's really clever. If you're firing up to 14 miles in a vast, endless sea, you've got to be on that pinpoint target.
Yeah, I know.
And it's really difficult.
Yeah,
So,
it's really, really difficult. I mean, it is amazing they hit anything at all, really. But given all the factors we've talked about, absolutely incredible that you might lay your guns and land a shell on the target.
And it all came through the skill, the training and experience of the gun crews, of the Marines working down here. Most times they might have missed, so it's then...
Well, they generally did.
Generally,
miss, is the thing. Yeah, but they do. But they also do strike targets. One thing that's characteristic of a ship like this, though, is there's redundancy built into everything in case it breaks down or if it's damaged in battle, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you just look through this hatch here, you can see this machine here, and that is another Admiralty Fire Control Table, just a smaller one that they took along as a spare.
That's amazing. So this goes wrong in the drama of battle or whatever. They go through to there.
Do the same thing through there, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Well, where do we go next? Because so we've laid in the target. We've got their speed, their heading, our heading. What do we do next? What do we look at next?
Well,
what's the next piece of the chain?
The guns need ammunition, so we'll go and have a look at the shell rooms next.
Awesome. Oh, I just love it down here. Oh, it's
So here we are in the
amazing.
shell room.
Look at it. Absolutely incredible. Oh my God. This place is amazing, Rob.
So we're down in one of the 6-inch gun shell rooms.
Yeah.
So we're in the armoured box below the waterline, and if you can sort of look up, we're directly beneath a turret at
Yeah.
the front of the ship.
Yeah.
So if you can see, we're in a sort of a cylindrical shape here.
Yes.
And that's called a barbette, which is like a great big steel cylinder.
It's as if it's a turret that runs down into the ship.
That's it exactly, yes.
Right. And above us is where the guns are.
That's it.
This is where the ammunition is. So if you're in here, you're closed in, because obviously, let's say this ammunition is hit, we don't want it setting off the rest of the ammunition in the ship, right?
Exactly. So within the barbette and the gun
Yeah.
turret on top, you'd have had 49 sailors working in total.
Right.
And as you mentioned, they would have been what was known as closed down. So it's for fire safety, basically, because we're dealing with some pretty serious high explosives in here. The risk of fire and explosion is critical to the safety of the ship.
Yes, of course. Well, you think of HMS Hood going up from one or two shells. You know, no one really knows what happened there. But that is an example of the fire spreading through the whole ship, the ship being destroyed.
And that's exactly what the Navy wanted to avoid. So that's how these turret systems were designed, that God forbid the turret takes a direct hit.
Yeah.
The explosion would then be directed up and out rather than through the ship.
Yeah, God.
Okay, fatal for the 49 men working down here, but at least you save the rest of the ship.
You save the rest of the ship. And what we have here, though, is there's tubes running up to the foreguns. And this is. I mean, if you think of this like a magazine in a rifle, where the rounds are ready to work their way up to the breech, right?
Yeah.
This is essentially what we're in here, right?
On a much larger scale. So there would have been racking all around us of 6-inch shells, armour piercing, high explosive, star shells, training rounds, everything that the ship would need. And they would have been placed by armourers on this great big turntable, which would have slowly chugged round. And then you'd have had sailors within the turntable passing the shells into the shell hoists up to the turret.
Right, and then they go up on a lift, they pop up upstairs.
That's it, exactly.
In the turret, and then inserted into the gun and fired. How many rounds a minute are they capable of firing on both?
The 6-inch guns could fire 8 rounds a minute.
So this is going jack, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that?
Yeah, it's constantly going.
Oh my goodness me. I mean, I imagine, because you're locked down and you're in a place that could go up, it's quite stressful being down here.
It would have been extraordinarily difficult, I'd imagine, to reconcile the fact that you're working in such a dangerous space. But I find that through the experiences of the crew in Belfast that we have through our letters and private papers collections, they understood it was just a job to do. They knew the Navy was dangerous.
Yeah.
They were part of a team, part of a system.
I mean, and you read this in accounts throughout everyone thinks it's not going to happen to them. Might happen to someone else, but it's not going to happen to them, right?
And in many ways, when they reflect on working in this space, it's best just not to think about it, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to think about it. I've got to be honest with you. But I mean, these are the shells, right? But there's the propellant, the charge, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. So the cordite charges were kept in sort of canvas cylinders like this, and the cordite rooms were one deck below, deeper in the ship still, and the sailors working down there really were working in the depths of the ship.
And am I right in thinking, though, that if you're in the cordite room and there's a crisis, they'll flood it, right?
Unfortunately, that is true. So the cordite is the high explosive that propels the shells. It's very unstable and dangerous explosive to work with. So the risk of a fire or explosion is critical to the safety of the ship. And as you say, the best way to extinguish a fire is to completely flood the cordite room.
So there's like a stopcock and they open it and that's that.
In fact, we're standing just by them, yeah.
There's the thing, you think this room looks dangerous to work in. There's a room far more dangerous downstairs where someone will be given an order to basically kill the guys downstairs if need be.
Yeah, and unfortunately that was necessary to save the ship.
No, I get it, but these are the stakes in a place like that.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? It's just how dangerous.
Well, absolutely fascinating. But what we need to do now is go and look at the next phase. It's been spotted from the bridge. It's gone to the fire control system. What shell, what charge? That's down here, charge is downstairs. And now we need to go and look at the turret itself and having acquired those targets, how they fire on them. You've got to come down here. It's absolutely incredible. Didn't do up shoelaces. Right. Wow. Well, here we are. Final stage of the kill chain.
That's correct.
The business end.
And as you said, this is the the business end of the ship. The shells have been hoisted up here, the orders have come in, and finally it's the gunners in here who load and fire.
How many people are in here then?
So we'd have had 27 men in here in total. So 7 men on each gun,
Yep.
plus a turret crew of 5 and an additional turret commander sat here.
Okay, and he's getting the orders through. He then passes on the elevation of each barrel, because they might be firing in unison or they might be acquiring their own
Yep.
targets, or what they're trying to do is straddle. So one might be at a slightly different angle to chuck a shell further. And
Just imagine the noise and the atmosphere in here, all those men working together.
oh yeah, and when you fire the thing, the racket, right, the concussion.
The noise would have just been unbelievable.
Between the captain saying, I want that target engaged, the guns being laid on and fired, how long can that take?
A minute or two.
A minute or two?
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And obviously, because this ship's purpose, it's a gun platform, they're super drilled in this, they're super on top of it.
The gunners would have been so highly drilled and trained. Each man would have had one specific role, all in sequence.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have even needed to communicate that to their gunmates. It would have all have been instinct. And that allowed these guns to fire 8 rounds a minute.
The idea of being in here with that noise and concussion 8 times a minute.
But it's worth remembering that even the best trained sailors couldn't keep up that rate of fire forever.
No. And also, you're wearing out the barrels. So
Overheating them,
you're overheating the guns. And if you overheat the gun, then accuracy diminishes and all that sort of stuff.
And at various times during Belfast's active service, she had to return to refit just to have the gun barrels replaced because they'd been worn out and were no longer effective.
Sheer wear and tear. That's amazing. But this is a turret, right?
Yeah.
Which you can visit as a visitor here on the ship. But there's another turret, isn't there? B turret, which is being restored.
Yeah, so far B turret isn't currently open to the public.
Right.
It's being restored and it shows the turret in the process of restoration.
Okay,
and,
brilliant. Well, can we look at that?
Let's go and have a look.
Okay, go on, Rob. Lead on.
To Alex and Simon.
Right, brilliant. And these are the turret guys, right?
Yep, there's our conservation team.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I don't know about you. I'm going in the turret. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Fellas.
All right, it's cool, eh?
Yeah, it is cool. First things
It's cool.
first. It's good to, you know what, it's really reassuring to hear you say that it's cool. Because how long have you worked here?
I've been here just over 5 years.
I've been here since last April.
Right, and you still think it's cool, right?
Yeah,
5
every
years.
day.
Yeah, every day. First things first, when you're restoring this, have you got a manual?
We don't have a manual per se, but we do have documentation and plans of the ship before she's built.
You know, just to stress, you're not trying to get the guns into working order, right?
No, anything you see on YouTube, we have done simulated gun firing. They don't work as guns anymore.
And they're not going to. You know?
No, and you'd be hard pushed to find some ammunition.
Yes,
for
I
them.
mean, where are you going to get the shells from,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Take us through. If you're firing these guns, what would they do?
So you'd have 7 men per gun. You'd have gun captain, there'd be a telephone operator. Gun trainer would sit in a compartment at the front there. So I bet you can just about see that. To actually train the gun. They would lay the gun sort of almost completely horizontal. So you open the breeches.
Up and horizontal, so you can open the breech.
The shell would come up from where you've seen down in the shell rooms. Comes up the trunks behind us, the hoists.
Yeah.
Down into the loading tray, put into the breech, rammed home. Then a cordite charge would come up through. You see this pedal here, that's for bringing the cordite
And up it would pop.
Up it would come, it's on like a clutch, and then in she would go, you'd close the breech, put in your vent tube, which is like a little detonator to go in the end.
Like a shotgun cartridge.
That's right, and off you go. You do that 6 to 8 times a minute.
I mean, it does wonders for your hearing and your dentures, I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine they are all deaf by the end of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. When you're restoring it, what's your end point?
We have 2 turrets open for visitors now, Y and A turret. This one we're going to restore as best we can to how it originally was, with the intent of not having it open to the public per se, so that if we got anyone that wants to do period filming and photography, and they haven't got like modern lights and
Well, and the
fencing
AV.
in them. And
Never
the
gonna
AV,
turn the
TVs,
television off.
Yeah, there's none of that, exactly. So that's what we're going to do with this one.
And Simon, what's your favourite feature in here?
To be honest, like, the working in here is always a bit of a pinch me moment. I mean, it's not your standard job, is it, in here?
No.
I mean, I think there's always a little bit of a thrill when you're elevating the guns, you're opening up the breeches. Again, it is a little bit of an exciting thing. Again, just that kind of cherry on top of just how unique this job role is.
I mean, one of the interesting things about maintaining a ship like this is, after all, she's sat in the water. You set anything in the water, it begins to be eaten.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, when there were 900 crewmen on board,
Yeah.
they could repaint it, couldn't they? It's you two, right?
Yeah, this is, I mean, we are the full-time conservation crew, us two, and then we have volunteers that we manage to get doing various tasks as well. In terms of the water, because we're in the river, we're quite lucky really. It's not very saline, even though it's tidal. It's not too much salt in it. Yeah. So the hull is actually in pretty good condition. Divers have been down, so she's looking good.
This is absolutely incredible, and I have to say, being allowed in here is incredible. Is there any way of opening the breech?
Yes, we can show you if you want. Do you want to crack the level? Yeah, level the one up, Simon.
Yeah, perhaps actually, did you want to have a...
Well, I mean, I would love to if I'm allowed.
Yeah. Jump in.
Oh, brilliant.
Turn that wheel counter, hit its full point, and that'll be fully depressed.
I didn't go to the gym this morning.
Handle to do
So
it.
these aren't automated systems. This is manual.
This is, yeah, because we're not powered. The ship's not powered anymore.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. Almost there, keep going.
Oh!
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I think it'll do.
Wow.
All right, come on this side.
Yeah.
So you can see the rifling cleared down the barrel. We haven't got the tompignons in the end, so you can see straight out.
Oh my word.
So the shell would come backwards into the,
the
loading tray. And that would be
Shoved
rammed
in.
Come out, cordite.
Cordite pops up from here. Lay the charge.
Close the bridge. Here's where your vent tube or little detonator cartridge goes in.
Like a
There you
sort
go.
of shotgun
That's what
cartridge.
it is.
Yeah.
Close that.
Wow.
Fire and do that all again.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's our look at the kill chain here on HMS Belfast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe to World War II headquarters. A huge thank you to everyone here at Imperial War Museum Belfast. Get yourself down here, London Bridge, and just take the whole thing in, because it's genuinely staggering.